Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whoever you are or wherever you are. Today is if I'm not mistaken, today is 30th of July. 30th of July 2025. My apologies that I have not posted much of a video because I have not been into my collection hunting kind of scenario for the past few weeks. Yeah, this as time goes, work's been quite busy, been piling up. Everything is had to be moved quick and etc. So yeah, most of the time, personal hobby has to be postponed for the greater good of your own life of responsibilities, taking care of the house, work, family issues if it matters that you need to resolve, friends, and etc. So yeah, my apologies if I haven't posted any new videos. And of course, on the sidetrack, try to keep it short. Uh, Pacific Ocean is in a so-called tsunami alert. One of the top 10 so-called dangerous magnitude of earthquake in Russia on the far east of Kamchatka is under the waters, undersea earthquake. So tsunami is quite a high chance that there will be a tsunami. But how high the water will rise is yet to know. Seems to be everywhere across the place is taking precautions. Alert is high, but current activity, nothing has been reported heavy damage. Probably a light damage. Not compared to the Aceh tsunami massacre in Indonesia. That was different. That was way devastating, as it would be. Yeah. Trump, well, America has been negotiating across the world, the countries for the tariffs. So I think the tariffs will be quite eventually settled down. Each country, we will have tariffs. We will have to pay the price. The Americans have to pay more, and slowly we will see the inflation will go up. Now they're actually most of the things they are running now. The goods are actually early imports before the tariff hits in. So pretty much is fine. Yeah, the price is still stable. Within a couple of months, when the tariff will introduce and stabilize, the price will go up, and anticipating inflation. When America's economy goes bad, sour, I would say the world will go sour. But the question arises is whether the world has contingency where America failed. So that is one thing that the biggest question all prime ministers, president, chancellors, king, queen, sultan, sultana are figuring out. What if? How does the world survive without America's economic powerhouse? That is the biggest question. Most presumably that China will take over, or the European Union will take over the baton from the Americans for a main traders of the world supremacy. We do not know. I do not know. The world is still thinking. Another news that I was quite very heard of for the past few days is about the alien species were discovered. We're anticipating by end of this year, October or November, for alien life forms to come to Earth. Pretty shocking, isn't it? I, for one, believe that the universe is so large there would be another life form. We are not alone. I still believe that, even though there is no proof, no definitive proof, that we are not alone. But I still believe that we are not alone. So whether they are much more advanced than us at this moment of time, We don't know. Or they are very primitive. We don't know. So there's another speculation news that has hit the main media. Normally science fiction will pick up this, but apparently a lot of news has picked up this about aliens and so forth. Definitive proof, who knows? It's just a blink in the sky that we pick up from our satellites or our telescopes. Who knows? That's the future we will bind to know. So, with that leave one side, the news is that before I go to the things that I got, of course we are going to talk about this two notes, because this note is the one that I bought in the auction last few weeks ago. So they went through the process, I paid it, and then they delivered it, and I finally got it. So we'll go into that in great detail. Now, just want to heads up that I never received this, but yeah, I received a so-called advertisement from Heritage Auction, posted from United States, Jersey Post. I was very surprised that they actually do this, have the effort to mail this or physically mail this to me across the other side of the world. Basically, it's trading cards auction, signature auction, September 19th to 20th. Basically, it's a a promotion or notice. Hey, there's new auction for trading card. Would you like to join and buy trades? Maybe I'll just participate in viewing it and witnessing it. I don't have the capacity of a capital to buy these figures in US dollar. This is like a Uego card, $20,000 or so. The Black Lotus from the Magic the Gathering Alpha Edition, 81,250 US dollars. A Japanese version of Pokemon number 2 trainer, PAC 10, perfect score. Sell at 81,250 US dollars. Quite significant price. So in this, so most of the people that they are bidders, they are high value bidders. Whether I would bid any of these trading cards, who knows? But looking at this, they're quite high rollers, I would say this. So, but the main thing is I appreciate Heritage Auction. Although I mainly focus on gold coins and banknotes as the main apparatus for me to interest in bidding, I did put secondary for trading cards. Just started back to inspire to collect trading cards and so forth. But anyway, they had put an effort to send a postcard notifying on the coming auction for the trading cards, which is really nice, really nice from the Heritage Auction. Never know they'll do that, but they did, so I'm pretty happy with it. Okay, back to what we have here. We have two very dull, and most of you who collect banknotes, these two notes are quite dull, nothing so fancy, nothing high expensive notes, blah blah blah. Yes, Bank of Communication note. This one has quite a number of variations, so I try my best to collect if their price is right in the in a great price, because they got variation. There are a lot of errors print, so they included as part of the variations. This is one of the notes has an error before they printed on the serial numbers. Some has serial numbers with errors, some without serial numbers with errors, blah blah blah. Some with complete one with serial number means it's ready to use for the outside. Some is actually cancelled and so forth. This one, I know why it was cancelled. This note is not used for circulation. It was supposed to be destroyed and to be burned. Apparently, I'm not too sure in the history what happened to this note. They kept it and huge stock of errors. They didn't destroy it, and it became a collector's items. So it's not too expensive, it's not too cheap either at this moment of time of the COVID. So relatively, I would say is quite reasonable. If I go back in time when I was younger, when I started collecting banknotes. This type of notes I can get it for 20 ringgit, 30 ringgit tops. Now, last time I went to the convention a few months back, there was one vendor selling this type of note, and it's whooping 300 to 400 ringgit now. That's a huge fall from a 30 ringgit to like 300 to 400 ringgit. So it's a huge margin of profit from 2005, 2004 to 2025. It's almost 20 years. The price change now. And of course, the other one, another common note is the 20. If I don't say it's 20, or no, 50 or $20, 20 dinar from Iraq during Saddam Hussein rule. Now this one is a little surprise. Looks like it's printed from the top quality company from the Thomas de la Rouge. Wink wink. It's not. This is a note that will surprise you later. So we'll go through this one first. Bank of Communication, China. They actually had a stamp here considered as reject, so they didn't actually print the serial number on it. The note, they printed the serial number on it because it was cancelled. So they cancel. Now the one thing particular of this note is why it was cancelled. Because when the quality control of the banknote, the person who's checking the banknote's quality, they notice there is an error here. If you see the markings here, let me zoom in there. If you see this one, the smudge here, that is why they circle in a red pen or something, or red pencil, or red crayon, and mark that it is a defect in the print. And it's supposed to be an alphabet word. Like this one, the opposite mirror image here, it was supposed to be like this, clean cut. That's not supposed to be a smudge. There is a H here. I believe this one is supposed to be a T. It's a hidden security feature word. You can see it's a H here. Here is supposed to be a T if I'm not mistaken, but it's been smudged by the ink process during the process. So the quality controller pick it up, circle here. There's a defect. This note is cancelled. Now if you look at the pick catalog book, there are quite a number of varieties for this type of notes to be collected, to collect all the variations. Now at the moment I have collected probably 3 in total. I have 3. One of it is a normal circulation in the public already, which means they have the serial numbers, there's no errors, signature is there, and so forth, and it's circulated in the masses. Now that one is the common one, which is very cheap, probably around $5 to $10 USD, and in a very good condition of uncirculated condition. Yeah, but of course the further away you are from the origin of the note, the more expensive, and the reason for it become expensive is the rarity to find the note physically. Okay, physically finding this note is very difficult. So that is one of the reasons why. So this note is actually privately printed. Let's read the back. It is printed by Tatong Book Corporation Limited, if I pronounce it properly. So this is a private enterprise, not from Thomas de la Rouge or Gebeck and so forth. So it was printed in China locally. A book binder printing company, printing banknotes. Basically, it's a book company, and they are commissioned to print banknotes. So they're bound to have a lot of errors, because their machineries were not designed to print notes. So they have plenty of the errors and mistakes they've done, and that is why there is a lot of these type of notes has plenty of variations. If I'm not mistaken, they probably have 6 variations, including specimen notes of this. So yeah, one of the things to trick on this note. So condition wise is extremely fine, I would say. Quite good, but I wouldn't say it as uncirculated condition note. So yeah, it will be added into my collection Nothing fancy, but I have three of these same notes, but different variation. The one I have is one is completely in masses. Number two is they have serial numbers, but it is cancelled. Okay, and now I have a third one is indicating errors without serial numbers, including signatures. They have the back signature, but I think the front has no signature. Yeah, so yeah, that's one of the notes. The other one is Saddam Hussein, Iraq. Supposed to be, if I'm not mistaken, let me see. Iraq, I believe it's supposed to be 20 dinars. If I'm not mistaken, it's supposed to be 20 dinars. Now this is, well, of course, if most of you would know, this is printed by Thomas de la Rouge. So Thomas is supposed to be a top quality banknote among all the Iraqi Saddam Hussein's banknote. This note is the best in quality. Now, what's so special about this note that I'm holding on? Now, I do have all the Saddam Hussein notes except the one that is the originally printed for the Gulf War, the 100 dinars. The problem is that the original print of the 100 dinars is very extremely very difficult to find, because most of it you find are counterfeits. The counterfeits were made by Iran during the Iran-Iraq war. They're supposed to devalue Iraq's currency, devaluate, increasing the inflation, destroying the economy by printing the notes. Now, this note is actually a similar case. This is during the, if I'm not mistaken, after the Desert Shield, Operation Desert Shield to Desert Storm, when America start invading and attack, taking off from defensive to offensive, capturing Kuwait and then expanding into Iraq. During 1991 period of the war, the first war, when America set foot in Iraq. And what they do is they ask Thomas de la Rouge to print this note for them in a very cheap quality note of propaganda. That's right. This is a propaganda note. Now we see almost always time a lot of the wartime periods, other than physically tanks, soldiers are fighting each other, the world in the banknote plays another role, another part of the war. Germany tried to counterfeit British pound notes to create an economic collapse during the Second World War on the Great British Empire. The Japanese were attacked by the Allied forces, not by guns and swords, but through paper currency, while the Allied forces tried to make counterfeit notes. And those counterfeit notes will flow into circulation into the Japanese newly conquered areas like Burma, Malaya, the West Indies, or now we call it Indonesia, Oceania. So they printed all the notes and then they try to make hyperinflation. This one it doesn't do that. This is considered as a propaganda note. Now, propaganda notes has also been widely used during one of the tools of war. Well, how do I say this? In history, I only know that the Japanese, when the America wanted to drop bombs or try to play a military psychology on the citizens, they actually print a note at the front is the local banknote, and at the back they will read a lot of this at the back they will actually put up a lot of the essay written that is the core prosperity working. Are you hungry or are you being fed? The war is hurting you, blah blah blah, to surrender. And then the Germans do have some of the banknotes, printed in the United States $10 bill for the L the yellow seal one for the Africa campaign. The Germans also took it and printed out. They make a front is the $10 with the yellow seal, and at the back they say, this note is, if you wish to surrender, blah blah blah, use this note and you will get protection from the German army. Present this to the German army, the soldiers, that it will take you to the commander, blah blah blah, something like that. They were right here, and then you'll be well fed, you'll be well kept, and blah blah blah. Of course, that's one of the ways they do with the propaganda banknotes. So this is one of it, which I would say is one of the very last wars in the modern war they use such notes. I have not seen any notes that the big superpower countries like America or any developed countries, when they go enter the war, like fighting in Afghanistan, producing such a note to tell the civilians, there's a war, there is a battle coming, there's a soldier coming, or try to win the hearts, or introduce a psyche warfare on the civilians and the soldiers. They haven't come this. So this, I would say, probably this would be the last. Now, what is it written here? Very peculiar. I don't read Arabic, so I'm not too sure what is written. But actually, if you can Google it, basically it's trying to tell the Iraqi soldiers or the civilians to surrender to the United States, and you'll be protected. As I say, like the Germans, what they did for the Germans during the Second World War, it's the same thing. Roughly, I understand it is to be used and how to appropriately surrender to the American soldier. It's an instruction how to surrender to for the Iraqi soldiers, civilians, so that they won't get killed while they are surrender. So it's an instruction how to surrender to the American soldiers during the first Gulf War in 1991. So that is how they printed this note. They used the Thomas de la Rouge print. They got the image. They just print massively with in low quality. Actually, it's very flat. It's very flat. If the original note for this note, the original one that printed Thomas is much more vibrant. It's one of the most beautiful notes for Saddam Hussein series. Among all the Saddam Hussein, I felt this note is the most beautiful. I actually had this one, but I kept it in my catalog book albums for the Middle East. So yeah, this will be added to my collection for that. It's a propaganda note, instruction how to surrender to the American soldiers. Not a real note, but it's part of historical effort of military war, where the notes get involved in military or war efforts. So there you have it. One beautiful note. That's a short series, running at half an hour. So yeah. So the next time, I would say probably in August, I will have another batch of notes that will be coming in. Maybe a little bit more interesting, I would say. But throughout this time, I'm actually until October, I'm actually saving some money, because I would be going to Japan for so-called a business enterprise. So hopefully in that period, that time, in the short time, it's not even a holiday for me, that I will go to some of the local dealers there to buy some of the notes that I wanted to complete my Japanese modern series banknotes, or something interesting that I would buy, and that I would not be able to find in eBay or in my country or any dealers. So yeah, but the best note, if you want to collect that note, specific note, go to the country. That is the adventure that I love to do. And now you might see some of my videos a little bit less about new notes until the period of October. So yeah, sorry about that in advance. It might be going to be very boring. I'm not die out. I am still here, try to record my my collection and so forth. So it's not that I died or give up on doing this. I'll still do this so long I'm still collecting items in my hobby. Alright, if I stop collecting banknotes, that is the time that I would say the end. Because as I said in all my videos, I do this not for entertainment. I do this for education, academic purposes, and most importantly, to archive my collection when I've got new collection or what, to log in a video so that in my future old self could gain like a archive to find out what was it at that time I've got. So yeah, total price I got this too is quite reasonably cheap. Both of them in euro. It's about 100 euros. So it's about 100 euros for both of them. It was relatively cheap to get this one, and relatively cheap accidentally I got this one. So yeah, pretty much I got a bargain, I would say. I got a bargain, yeah. Okay, thank you so much everybody. That is all for today. If you have any questions or anything you want to correct me, please do write in. I do very encourage that, and I most appreciate to make sure that my information are correct and accurate, if I may say so. And if you like to see more video, do subscribe. And yeah, thank you for watching this lovely video and your patience. Thank you so much, and goodbye.